In the dead of night, before the sun had even begun to rise on the distant horizon, the North Atlantic Ocean surged with icy, white-crested waves, seemingly challenging the courage of those who depend on the sea for their livelihood. A rugged commercial lobster fishing vessel cut through the waves, carrying the hope of a bountiful catch. The roar of its massive diesel engine tore through the vast ocean's stillness.
Kéo chậm lại, cẩn thận sóng đánh. Được rồi, gần tới rồi. Kéo mạnh lên. Sắp lên rồi.
Mingling with the howling wind against the hulls, battered by salt and time, creating a raw symphony of the maritime industry, like a cinematic portrayal of the struggle for survival between man and the harsh forces of nature. On the slippery deck, constantly rocking against the roaring waves of the meter-high walls of water, weathered fishermen with faces etched with the wrinkles of time, hurriedly prepared for a grueling day of intense work. They donned waterproof protective suits stained with fish scales and the pungent smell of bait, their rubber boots pounding firmly on the cold metal floor as they began operating. The muscular hydraulic winches, their dry rumbling sounds signaling the moment to pull the enormous lobster traps from the dark depths of the ocean to the surface. Each cage, reinforced with steel and sturdy crisscrossing wire mesh, is not just an industrial fishing tool, but a life-or-death gamble with the ocean. Inside, filled with rotting herring or oozing salmon heads emitting a pungent, fishy smell, They weave their way through the currents to lure giant crustaceans with armored shells, lurking beneath treacherous coral reefs and dark, rocky shoals.
Nhanh tay lên. Bỏ vào thùng này. Sắp chưa? Đó đi. Tới đây.
As the mechanical pulley system spins, pulling taut the large, wet, moss-covered rope, the weight of the trap breaks free from the water's surface.
Toss it in the red bin. Got it. Watch your feet. This swell is getting rough.
Bursting into thousands of white bubbles under the cold light of the high-powered spotlights on the deck, revealing dozens of lobsters with their spiny shells.
Kéo lên đi. Cẩn thận sóng đánh. Rồi, hạ xuống đi. Chồng cái này lên đi. Nặng thật đấy.
A wild and beautiful blend of deep moss green, muddy brown, and sunset orange, flapping their tails and brandishing their enormous claws menacingly like medieval armored warriors fiercely resisting human interference.
Almost there. Get ready to grab it. All right, easy now, easy. Giữ chặt mép lồng. Cẩn thận sóng đánh. Kéo lên nhanh đi.
The icy seawater splashed everywhere, mingling with the hurried, steaming breaths of the ocean hunters as they swiftly dragged the heavy traps along the ship's side.
Thôi, sắp tới rồi. Hạ xuống đi. Ê, kéo mạnh lên. Được rồi, nhích qua trái. Kéo mạnh vào. Được rồi, vào đây.
Opening the lids with a decisive motion and beginning the rigorous yet artistic sorting process, a stage demanding absolute precision like that of machines and an uncompromising respect for marine conservation laws.
Hold it steady, another wave is coming. Okay, drop it now before the next swell.
Each individual lobster is skillfully lifted using thick rubber gloves to avoid the deadly grip that could crush bones. The master lobster hunter uses a specialized
Kéo mạnh vào. Được rồi, từ từ thôi. Buộc chặt lại.
Individuals that haven't reached commercial size or female lobsters carrying thousands of tiny, glossy black eggs under their bellies are immediately and gently tossed back into the vast ocean to continue their mission of reproduction.
Kéo lên. Nhanh lên. Giữ chặt dây. Sóng lớn quá. Cẩn thận. Kéo mạnh vào. Nâng cao lên chút nữa đi. Cẩn thận dây cáp. Được rồi, cứ giữ thế.
An unwritten rule embodying the profound philosophy of sustainable development for fishing communities that depend on the breadth of the ocean.
Nhanh tay lên nào. Con này mấy cân đây? Cho vào thùng xanh đi. Được rồi, chuyển thùng. Giữ chặt nó lại. Kéo lên đi. Cẩn thận sóng.
The magnificent, high-quality lobsters, possessing the finest and most expensive meat, undergo a remarkably skillful and safe handling process.
Rồi, đổ nhanh lên. Xong ngay đây. Còn sọt nữa không? Vẫn còn nhiều lắm.
This crate is full. Pass the empty one down. More coming up on the starboard side.
Nhanh lên, sóng lớn quá. Được rồi, con này to.
Fishermen take less than 2 seconds to use mechanical tongs to wrap thick strips of industrial rubber tape around their sharp, serrated claws, completely eliminating any possibility of them fighting each other in the cramped storage environment.
Get those secured before the next swell. Almost done over here.
Đổ mạnh xuống đi. Cẩn thận đấy. Loại này size lớn quá.
After being stripped of their natural defenses, these kings of the seabed are carefully transferred to continuously circulating seawater tanks located deep within the ship's hold.
Được rồi, giữ chắc vào. Nhanh tay lên. Hết sọt này rồi. Được rồi, đưa sang đây. Kéo lên. Cẩn thận sóng đánh. Vào đây, buộc chặt lại đi.
An ideal frigid water temperature, accurately replicating their natural habitat to ensure they remain healthy, fresh, and muscular until the ship sails to port. This grueling fishing expedition is not merely a struggle against storms and rough waves. It is the first link in an incredibly precise and rhythmic industrial chain, where empty cages are immediately refilled with fresh bait.
Con kia đầy chưa? Thịt mạnh ở chỗ này này. Rồi, thấy sạch chưa? Nhanh tay lên, đổ hết vào thùng xanh kia. Thùng này sắp đầy rồi. Get it up, come across. Got it, throw it in the green one.
Carefully secured with hooks by nimble hands and tossed back into the deep, dark waters, according to meticulously calculated GPS coordinates displayed on the radar screen in the cockpit.
Thịt mạnh vào. Con này to thật. Được mua rồi.
As the blood-red sunset began to stain the horizon, signaling the end of a grueling shift, the ship, laden with the fruits of the ocean, weighed anchor and turned towards land. The engines now sounded more joyful and rhythmic as they glided through the waves, gradually calming under the falling night, slowly making their way into the bustling harbor.
Tiếp tục đi, thẳng về phía trước.
Bên phải, bên phải.
Được rồi, hạ xuống đi. Chúng ta đã có một mẻ lưới lớn.
The industrial port emerged with a hurried, mechanized, and bustling pace, a stark contrast to the desolation of the open sea. The echoing ship horns, the rumbling of cranes lifting cargo, and the shouts of wholesale traders created an atmosphere thick with urgency and hard work.
Kéo lên. Được rồi, cẩn thận.
There, automation takes over the care of these deep-sea creatures. Optical scanners and ultra-fast electronic scales sort each lobster by size and weight.
Lâu lắm mới thấy biển êm thế này. Chuyến này về chắc ấm rồi.
Swing it to the left, right over the crates. All right, steady lads. Okay, lower away.
Down to the gram, while robotic arms and factory workers in pristine white uniforms swiftly place them into insulated styrofoam containers lined with damp seaweed and high-intensity dry ice packs.
Vụ mùa bội thu quá. Chưa bao giờ thấy con nào to thế này. Tối nay chúng ta ăn mừng thôi. Chuyến này lớn rồi, gấp đôi chuyến trước ấy chứ. Về ăn mừng thôi anh em ơi. Tàu cập bến an toàn rồi, chúng ta chuẩn bị xuống hàng đi. Rõ. Tôi sẽ thông báo cho đội bốc vác.
Every step unfolds at breakneck speed according to a perfectly programmed assembly line to ensure each individual lobster remains alive and retains its purest ocean flavor.
Rồi, thấy đường rồi. Chút nữa, ngay đó, dừng. Cẩn thận, nó đang lắc. Giữ chắc bên anh. Đẩy nó ra xa. Hạ xuống đi, từ từ thôi. Đúng rồi, vào giữa đi.
Ready for lightning-fast transcontinental transport by cargo plane to the most luxurious Michelin-starred restaurants worldwide, from bustling Tokyo to glamorous Paris or sleepless New York.
Vâng, một ngày làm việc hiệu quả. Con tôm hùm đột biến. Nó nặng hơn chúng ta nghĩ nhiều. Một chiến tích huyền thoại. Cái này cho vào